Well, starting with a very brief introduction of Effilux. Effilux is a French manufacturer of machine vision lighting, founded in 2009 by 3 optical engineers. And this is still part of the DNA of the company. So whatever solutions we make, they have to be optically very, very good. And you will see that also in the design of our new light for the food and beverage industry. It also has its optical tweaks, its very specific ones. As I said, based in France, headquartered in near Paris. We have a small sales and support office here in Germany, and worldwide our products are distributed by our mother company CCS, because Effilux belongs to CCS Group since 2018, so we're part of a larger family here. That should be enough on the company. Let's look at the food and beverage industry and what specific requirements there are for lighting there. For the food industry, there is 2 things you should consider at the very beginning. First of all, it's the harsh environmental conditions. So it's typically high temperatures, high humidity. There is a constant risk of contamination. It's not as much as we would want it to be a clean process, it can't be. It's not like the semicon industry where you work in a clean room. When you work with food, when you work with meat, for example, there is always dirt throughout the day. So it's very important products going into this market to have this food usage in mind when you start the development. It's not good to take just a standard product and put a housing around it. You should consider the needs at the very beginning. And of course, since it is a harsh, humid, dirty environment, the second big requirement is the harsh cleaning conditions. Typically high pressure water, use of chemicals to clean the lights, to clean the machinery on a daily basis. So this is where the IP rating comes into play, and the typical IP rating you need for food and beverage is IP69K. What's the status quo in lighting for this industry? Well, the status quo is mostly made of stainless steel. It's big, it's heavy, it uses lots of screws to attach some sort of windows, or it uses lots of glue to attach that. There is always dirt and accumulation in some pockets that you would find, especially if you just house something. And of course, it's quite expensive and there is quite long lead times if you need a specific size. Because since most housings are made of stainless steel, they need to get welded, they need to be manufactured. If you need anything larger than a certain standard, that does take time, and it is important. Sometimes you take a big block of stainless steel and just cut it out. Here is where we wanted to do something different. We wanted to make a real design for the food and beverage industry. And let's just take a look at it. It looks like this, and it's actually also quite neat to look at the assembly, to look at the components, how they fit together, because the important thing is to look at what's outside. Again, think about food design. How many components will actually be visible to the outside world? The light itself won't be, the caps will be, the screws will be, of course the cable gland will be, and then there is the main component, the main housing. So the beauty of this design is that you have the 2 stainless steel caps. They're always the same, no matter what the length is. You have the ceilings of these 2 steel caps, always the same, no matter what the length is. You have the power connectors, again, always the same. And the only difference between a 200 millimeter and a 2 meter light is the length of the main housing in between. And looking at the main housing, it may sound funny to you, but one of the key advantages for the food industry is that it's blue. So don't get me wrong, we did not watch the 2000s car advertisement too many times, which tells you that blue makes you happy. But blue does make customers in the food and beverage industry happy. So we talked to them, and they specifically said, yes, this is great for us. All of the conveyors that they have are blue, because in food, this color never naturally occurs. So if you ever see this color in food, you know it's a contamination. So if something goes wrong with cleaning in the afternoon or in the evening and there is some chipping, it will be easy to detect. And the same the other way around. You can see all kind of food contaminations on the blue also very nicely, and you know, no, I'm not done with cleaning. It's not a reflection, there is still something there because I can't see the blue there. So sounds simple, but it actually is a big advantage for customers in the food industry. Of course, it's resistant to chemicals, resistant to most acids, alkalis, detergents, basically everything that's used in the food industry. If it's too aggressive for this material, it usually is too aggressive for the food itself as well. So no problem there. Then it's a specific design. So the housing is one whole compound. It's not glued or anything. It's made in one piece, part of it blue, part of it transparent. It's a smooth surface with no corners, but also not just a tube, because a tube, again, would be optically very, very bad. I mean, if you just put a light into a tube, it acts like another lens. So your light will be distorted. Again, company founded by optical engineers. We don't want anything like that. We want a really, really good light, a really good representation. It's available from 200 millimeters onwards to 2.9 meters. I don't believe there is any food processing line that needs more than 2.9 meters, because unless they are working on elephants or something, which is not normally considered food, they don't need that. But typical lines, 2 meters wide, like in cookie production or in bread production, where it's quite common, easy, available, no problem. Another big advantage is weight. Stainless steel is heavy. So if you have a big stainless steel light, it is heavy. This is not. It's 250 grams per 100 millimeters. So a 200 millimeter light is just half a kilogram. And a 400 millimeter light, of course, is 1 kilogram. So it's lightweight. Huge difference to what you had before. And of course, there is a special mounting option to hold this, to make sure the mounting option can also be properly cleaned and easily cleaned. That's the housing side. That's the optical side. What about electronics? What options are there? Of course, we have the typical visible wavelengths, white, red, green, blue. But we immediately offer as well UV, 365, 405, and infrared. And especially infrared is interesting to food and beverage customers, of course. Strobing and dimming is both available. So you may have heard sometimes IP69K housings have huge limitations on the power output. This has small limitations. So if you compare this to the non-IP69K product, the maximum duty cycle is 20% instead of 30%. But that's perfectly fine for most applications. And it's available in continuous, dimming range 20 to 100%, fully compatible with our new dimmer. And it is a very, very bright light, up to 70 kilolux at a distance of half a meter. So from our experience, it's even good enough for most line scan applications. The target is mostly area scan, but you could use this with line scan applications as well. If you need more power, of course, there is also water cooling available. If you need highest output throughout the time, again, for line scan applications, mount water cooling. Some more soft factors. Less stainless steel means less cost. We estimate at least 20% cheaper than conventional designs. It's available right now, and it has short lead times, because that's the other advantage. I mentioned in the beginning, we don't have to go through this process of manufacturing stainless steel parts. We just have the caps, and they're always the same. And you have the main component, which can be cut into the right size. So it looks like I'm too fast, because I'm already at the Q&A. So we have more time for Q&A here. And if we're running out of time, you're still happily invited over to our booth in Hall 10, D56. You can see it live there. We have the light there, of course. Touch it, feel it, take a closer look, and talk to us. Thank you very much.